Welcome to Dell. Your call may be recorded. To dial an extension, please press 1. To make a purchase, get pricing information, or complete an online order, press 2. For technical support, or for software and technical questions, press 3. For all other issues related to a purchase already made, press 4. Please enter your customer number or order number.
I'd like to tell you a story. Well, two stories, really, and they're both true. The first story is unfolding right now before your eyes and ears, and as you'll soon discover, this is a story about frustration. This frustration has a name, Dell Customer Service. Actually, that's not so much a name as an oxymoron.
4925. If this is correct, press 1.
Why did I decide to document my frequent calls to Dell Customer Service? Well, because misery loves company. So prepare to become miserable.
Rebate forms or status, 3. All other questions, 4. For lease or payment questions on systems over 2 years old, press 1. Dell Preferred Account, 2. Gift cards, 3. All other questions, 4. You have reached the customer care queue. We are currently experiencing heavy call volume. Your wait time may exceed 10 minutes. We know your time is valuable, and we are working quickly to handle your call.
By the time I made the call that you see happening here, I had been trying to reach someone of sanity and authority at Dell for 2 weeks.
We appreciate your patience. The next available representative will be with you shortly.
I think this music is soothing. Now, I wasn't doing this for sport. I was trying to get the $400 rebate that I was entitled to because of a new laptop that I bought. But according to Dell, suddenly I was only entitled to a measly $100 rebate. Something was very wrong. So I started calling Dell, obsessively. But let's not linger on this frustrating scene. I promised you a second true story, and here it is. At the same time that I was placing this call to Dell, the news media reported a story about a ballistic missile of some sort that had fallen out of the sky above Saudi Arabia and that exploded in the city of Mecca. Now, this happened during the Hajj. That's the annual pilgrimage when devout Muslims literally stuff themselves into this holiest of all Islamic holy cities. It was reported that tens of thousands of innocent people were killed in the anonymous missile attack.
We appreciate your patience. The next available representative...
Shortly, right?
Shortly.
Shortly! If I had hair, I'd be pulling it out by now. I was probably the only one in the whole world who hadn't heard about the attack, because my attention was devoted to something much closer to home that was eating up all of my time. Who was responsible for the carnage in Mecca? Well, the Arabs, of course, immediately blamed Israel. But this was as silly as me blaming Israel for Dell's criminally inefficient customer service.
We appreciate your patience. The next available representative will be with you shortly.
Shortly. I heard shortly. They said shortly. As I frustratingly waited for news from Dell, the world tensely waited for news about the anonymous attack on Mecca. Clearly, This was a declaration of war. I mean, you can't promise me a $400 rebate and then try to weasel out of it. It was war, all right. If I wasn't so frustrated and angry right now, I'd be working because I'm supposed to be writing some ads for these pocket lighters. Now I want to use it to burn down the Dell building. I'll give you 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Sweetheart, it's been real. I'll try catching you again later. I know you're going to be your same...
We appreciate your patience. Huh? The next available representative will be with you shortly.
I doubt it.
For home systems, press 1. Business or employee. For order status or service call status, press 1.
While I made yet another call to Dell, the world was teetering on the edge. Countries began beating their plowshares into swords, and I was beating my head against the wall because I was getting absolutely nowhere in my war with Dell.
No. Gift cards, 3.
No!
All other questions, 4.
4!
Calling Dell customer care. Our phone centers are currently closed. You can get information online at www.dell.
Well, the Dell phone center may have been closed, but the United Nations remained open at this time of international crisis, the General Assembly trying its bumbling best to soothe the world's nerves. But how a bunch of yelling, arguing, angry, panic-stricken bureaucrats can keep the world calm is beyond me. Besides, I had other things to worry about. Okay, time for a change of scenery, don't you think?
Welcome to Dell. Your call may be recorded.
Let's shift now to the American Midwest. A jealous woman is eavesdropping on her philandering husband's phone conversation.
Press 2.
How about to kvetch? What do I press to kvetch? He's a swashbuckling Army intelligence officer, and it sounds like he's planning a rendezvous with his latest lover.
Please enter your customer number or order number.
When the philanderer leaves the house, his jealous wife gets in her car and follows. The journey ends not at a motel, but at a strange church in a remote wooded area. The man enters the church and his wife stealthily follows.
If this is correct, press 1.
1, yes.
For order status or service call status, press 1.
From the shadows, she observes a bizarre and fanatical Christian ritual. And taking part in this ritual were several corporate leaders, congressmen, Pentagon hotshots, and conservative news commentators. The ritual was led by a famous and charismatic televangelist. 4 is my number.
Thank you for calling Dell Customer Care. My name is Sammy. How may I help you?
I need to speak to a supervisor, please.
Certainly. To begin with, may I have your customer number or the order number, please?
As it turned out, this group in the church called themselves the 21st Century Crusaders against Islam. Their mission was holy war, what they called the Christian jihad. And the Crusaders had a frightening amount of power, money, leverage, knowledge, influence, connections, and passion. Would you like the case reference number? Fueled by the events of 9/11, the Crusaders began scheming, and by the time I placed my order with Dell, they had managed to develop an incredibly powerful organization that, as we now know, was capable of launching a missile attack on Mecca. God Almighty. If Dell customer service was that efficient, I would have had my $400 rebate already.
Sir, may I place you on hold for 2 to 3 minutes while I just go through your records?
Yes, you may. Thank you.
Thank you.
The jealous wife, remember her, suddenly realized the terrible truth, and she called the FBI. And then the entire plot of the 21st century Crusaders began to unravel quickly. My battle with Dell, however, was progressing in slow motion. Is anyone still there?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Time for another scene change. Government agents surrounded the Crusaders' highly fortified compound in the wilderness of South Dakota. Or maybe it was North Dakota. Or Montana. Well, it was one of those far-flung states that New York liberals like me easily associate with the white supremacist movement. And then a tense waiting game began. From their positions near the Crusader compound, the government agents could see the Crusaders inside maintaining a strict regimen of physical training. The Crusaders were warriors, and they were ready for battle, even if it meant fighting the United States government. Unlike the Crusaders, the government agents grew bored and began fooling around and goofing off. You still there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I can't say I blame them. I mean, you've got to do something to keep your sanity when you're engaged in a long waiting game with an enemy. The government's waiting game ended before mine. They stormed the Crusader fortress. Something detonated, and the resulting inferno killed hundreds of Crusaders and their families.
Thank you for your patience, sir.
Yes, hello.
Yes, sir. So we are working on this case, and you should be getting a call back in another 24 hours.
I'll be getting a call back when?
In another 24 hours?
In 24 hours. Okay. I mean, I was told over a week ago that someone was going to call me back, and, you know, no one had called me back. I waited many days before calling, so, I mean...
I know, sir. But don't worry, this case is in process, and you will be getting a call back in another 24 hours.
Okay.
Okay?
Well, I'll sit tight and I'll wait. I appreciate your looking into everything.
Thank you, sir, but I really apologize for the inconvenience caused you. I see that you've been calling up regarding this issue quite a number of times.
Yes, I have. I mean...
Right, sir, we will take care of this issue now.
Okay, I really appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, then. Thank you for calling, Dell. You have a great day.
You too. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
So let's see, this call was 22 minutes and 50 some odd seconds. 22 minutes and 50 some odd seconds. Now, a lot can happen in 24 hours. Hundreds of Americans can be killed by other Americans in an ill-conceived attack. Disparate groups of Islamic militants can unite and form an alliance and plot revenge. But a callback from Dell customer service, well, that's simply out of the question. And so, several days later, when the promised call failed to arrive, I found myself chatting online with a Dell customer service agent. Now, I hate online chat sessions, but my unsuccessful phone calls drove me to the internet. And imagine my surprise when, online, I connected with someone at Dell who acknowledged that I was entitled to a $400 rebate. So, should I apply for the $100 rebate before the expiration date? No, they said. Dell would handle everything by mailing me a check for $400. I was beginning to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And then, a few days later, to my shock, my long-promised, much-anticipated call from Dell customer service finally arrived.
Yes. Hello, Mr. Needleman? Yes. This is a call for Mr. Needleman from Dell Customer Service. We regret very much the difficulties you have been having in receiving your $400 rebate from us, and we are very, very sorry for this. There was a misunderstanding when your order was processed. It was accidentally put in for only a $100 rebate. but I have investigated, and yes, you are entitled to the $400 rebate. And what I want you to do is to apply for the $100 rebate that is indicated online, and then Dell will refund your credit card account the remaining $300. Once again, on behalf of everyone at Dell, we are very much of regret for this misunderstanding.
Now, it didn't surprise me that his instructions contradicted those of the online customer service agent who told me not to apply for the $100 rebate. But I decided to apply for the $100 rebate because the expiration date was quickly approaching and I was getting worried. Several weeks later, I opened my mail and found a $100 rebate check from Dell. Yes! Now, this was a dangerous time to open mail because Islamic militants in a retaliatory counterattack had mailed out hundreds of anthrax-laced letters to government officials, Pentagon honchos, corporate bigwigs, and American church leaders. A few days later, my credit card statement arrived in the mail, and I was delighted to discover that Dell had refunded my account $400. And where I went to school, $400 plus $100 equals $500. I was so happy it didn't even faze me to hear on the news that night that a ballistic missile had fallen out of the sky on the holy city of Medina. Friends, the world may be going to hell, but as the flames from the fiery sulfur pits of Hades begin to consume me, I'll have a smile on my face, because I faced my enemy in a holy war and, with the help of God, or Allah, or Jehovah, or whomever, I won. And obviously, that's all I care about.
Welcome to Dell. Your call may be recorded. The next available representative will be with you shortly. Please press 1. The next available representative will be with you shortly. Press 2. The next available representative will be with you shortly. Press 3. The next available representative will be with you shortly. Press 4. The next available representative will be with you shortly. Shortly. Your call may be recorded.